Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for Low Country Lunatics with your host, Chef Giuseppe from Apastioli's Specialty Foods, Jamie Trasciatti from Veltric Intent, and Joe Lavey Jr., the Fireman. We're gonna get loud, we're gonna get real, no holding back on the Lunatic Network.
I couldn't hold, but the fire don't fade, it just finds a new flame. And the mess I made still carries my name. Now I'm sauced, dripping red like blood and wine.
Well, we are back, the Low Country Lunatics. Man, it's been a long time coming. Finally. I think this is like episode 19, but we took like 3 months off. And now, if you guys can't notice, we've got two new special co-hosts, my partners in crime here. We got Jamie Trasciatti, right? Veltric Intent.
Yep.
And Joe Lavey Jr., the Fireman. What's up, guys?
Good to be back, man. Good to be back.
Right?
Thanks for having me on. It's always pretty cool to be a fan of something and now become, one of the co-hosts.
Right. Yeah, you've been watching from the beginning, right, Joe?
I have.
It's crazy, the evolution, right?
Well, I think you're on it. I think you're onto something. You guys are hilarious, and we all kind of relate to each other. You know, Jamie's the full Italian. You and I are the Italian grandmother and the Irish everything else.
The mutts.
The mutts.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, we need Jamie's the anchor here because, he's in, We can't be in without Jamie.
Well, to be fair, Jamie and I do share the same great-grandparents.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, growing
sir.
up Italian was crazy. I mean, like every meal we had, it was just the Italians. Every holiday, it was the Italians were the ones that got together.
Oh, yeah. What about like Sunday suppers, man? That's something I miss. I mean, walking in my grandma's house in Detroit, and you walk in, you get smacked in the face with the sugo in the air. I mean, the scent of it and the fresh bread, and oh my gosh, the things I miss from the 80s. My gosh.
Did you guys
You're
ever
not
do
wrong.
homemade pizzas?
Yeah, my grandma used to do Sicilian style with just tomato sauce, onion, and cheese. That was it.
That's
That
it.
was it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Is that like
I
the
was
deep
different.
dish? The Sicilian, is that deep dish?
My grandma would take these loaves of bread. They're about 12 or 14 inches long. They're about, 3 inches thick. She would cut them down the center, flip them, and yeah, that's what she would use.
Huh.
So a French
Yeah.
bread style.
They're wide, though. I mean, it was, I guess, in some sort of, but yeah.
Because that's what my grandmother made. My grandmother made the French bread pizzas and would bake them in the oven and stuff like that. But yeah, same thing, man. Sunday dinners were huge. You didn't miss them.
No.
And I actually live in my grandparents' house. I purchased it when they passed away. So, sometimes my wife, when she's cooking some of our family recipes and I smell it, it feels like my grandma's still in the kitchen doing it. It's awesome.
And it was an all-day event too.
It was.
Yeah,
I
so-
actually spent the weekends with my grandparents. I think it was because my parents maybe didn't like me too much and pawned me off. But every weekend, Friday, my grandfather worked for General Motors and would pick me up and bring me to his house for the weekend. And we ate really well for the whole weekend. And the grand finale was the Sunday dinner when my parents would come and pick me up. But it was a rule. You didn't miss Sunday dinner.
No.
And again, like Jamie said, the smells were just incredible. Back in the 80s and 90s, that was it,
Well, I'm sure
Yeah.
it's the same for you, Chef. I mean, growing up there in Connecticut, I mean, it's same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, there's an Italian deli on every corner. There's hundreds of pizza parlors, like real pizza. Yeah, and about those family dinners, you couldn't leave the table until your plate was done.
Yeah. Hence why I'm the way I am. I've
Right.
just been trained that way. I mean, Jamie will know when we go to our family reunions in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, especially when we were kids, when the old timers were still alive, our grandmas and our aunts would cook all day long in a kitchen. What would you say, Jamie? About 6x6?
Yeah,
You know?
probably. It's not very big, but they managed to make it work every little ounce of space.
Yep. And what was the
I
one
mean,
word we'd hear all the time during the meals?
manja, manja,
Mm. And then they'd be like, "Oh,
manja.
you're getting bigger." It's like, yeah, you don't say. And
Yeah,
they say
right.
10
They
pounds
have
of
the
pasta.
audacity. They have the
Right.
audacity to break our balls about getting fat and getting a belly.
Yeah.
But look what the fuck we're eating.
Yeah.
I know you. I know
Exactly.
you just had a plate of pasta. You had a plate of sausage and peppers. You had this, but you still have to be hungry. I mean, you.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you
It's
didn't
like
eat it all, you insulted them.
Right.
It's like going to Nona's or Grandma's house, and I know you're hungry. I know you're hungry. And here, eat. And you're bringing loaf of bread out, and they're bringing salami and prosciutto and mortadella out. You got to make a sandwich, and that's not enough for you. Let's bring out the cheese. I've got some of this left over from 2 nights ago. We're going to bring that. We got chicken cutlets. It's like, you almost feel like, what was that girl's name on, I hate this. She turned into the blueberry in the Candy Factory. I can't even think of it now.
Violet.
Yes.
Violet.
Yes, it's turned into that blueberry. It's like, that's what, even going to the reunion still. I mean, this year will be, I don't know how many what year this marks out there, but, now, my family, me and my wife, Joe and his wife, our cousins, everybody takes turns cooking lunches and dinners, and it's a lot of food, man. It is. I mean, if you walked up, you'd be like, holy crap, what? Yeah. Yeah.
Getting
And
their
then you're
stuff
like,
out
yeah,
like
this
the
is just lunch.
is out all day long.
What's that?
What?
Yeah, it's definitely something else. It's something to be seen. I've sent pictures to friends. They're like, "What is that? Dinner?" I'm like, like Joseph. I'm like, "No, it's just lunch. Just having a snack."
Dinner's in 3 hours.
Yes. Yeah, I know. And you get to all the hoagies, and being in that area, everything. All the bakers are Italian, the sausage makers like the
Right.
porchetta, and it just it's. I can't imagine having it any other way. I mean, just that being there for that, 3-day weekend in July every year, it just brings something back. You're standing there at the patio, which, it's called the patio. You look over and you're like, oh, my grandpa and grandma used to live there, and my aunt and uncles used to live there, and, my other aunt and uncles used to live there, and behind, and it's just, that was where they settled when they came from Italy.
And that was the hill where Annie Lane lost her dog and fell through the hole in the mines. Remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
What happened?
Yep.
So the area that our family, where they were and still are, was big into coal mining back in the day. And our Annie Lane's dog ended up getting lost up into an area, and they were able to track the dog into an area that was roped off, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
I was real little when this happened, so
I think so. I wasn't very big. Yeah.
yeah, they believe that the dog fell through one of the ground because it's so mined out.
When
Damn.
they've got them all closed off now, but yeah, you used to be able to. I mean, when I was a kid, late 70s, early 80s, my dad would take me and you go show me the openings of the mines. They were boarded off and things like that. You put your hand here, you could feel the air coming out of there. It's like 50 degrees cooler than air temp but yeah. Oh, Grandpa used to work there. I mean, almost all the males in our family worked there. We actually had one of them was crushed in an accident at one of the coal mines, and he was young. I mean,
19.
19, yeah.
Yeah, poor Lindsay.
I was just gonna say that's
Poor
one of the
Lindsay.
dangerous industries.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's why Jamie and I live where we live now. Our grandparents didn't want that type of life. So, my grandfather left that area and came into Buffalo, and the first place he walked into was General Motors, accepted a job, was there for 40 years, but he would work here during the week and then go back to Pennsylvania on the weekends until they had enough money to move here.
So where'd you guys actually grow up? Pennsylvania?
I
Nope.
grew up in Detroit.
I grew up in North Tonawanda, New York. I'm right in the middle of Buffalo and Niagara Falls.
Okay. Damn, so you get that lake effect.
Yeah,
We both
whatever
do.
Jamie gets, he sends it to me. And it's normally twice the amount.
Yeah. I'll call him. Hey, we got 18, 24 inches of snow over the weekend. And he goes, great. And
It
then
normally falls with a middle finger emoji.
and then I watched the weather form over Lake Erie, and he just gets slapped.
So you guys
Yeah.
know I'm in the South, right? So I moved here in 2014. I haven't seen snow in probably a decade. So I go back to Connecticut for 2 months. I was back there. It snowed 12 times. No shit.
Yeah, they just
I
got
haven't.
blasted with that nor'easter. Yeah, it happens. It's just, yeah.
But it's like business as usual. Like nobody's phased. They don't shut shit down up there. It could be 20,
Yeah.
24 inches. They don't shut nothing down. You can still get Chinese food.
I mean, listen, when I drove semi trucks for all the years that I did, I remember being in Atlanta, Georgia, and they got like flurries, and it's like,
Pandemonium.
wait a minute, wait. Everybody has to go shopping right now. I think we're gonna get a half inch of snow. I mean, elderly people. I mean, they're saying on the news, elderly people, you're probably not gonna make it through this one. It's just gonna be one of those. And here I am. Everybody is doing like 10 miles an hour. I'm going around people in my semi 55, 60 miles an hour, and I can't imagine what people are thinking. But in Michigan, you're running on the road, grossed out at 80,000 pounds and 6 inches of snow doing 65, 70 miles an hour. It's just like, it's second nature. Boy, people in the South, I got a good buddy who lives in couple of them who live in Mississippi, and they get snow, and it's just like, what do we do?
Yeah, the world stopped.
Yeah.
Yep. Walmart runs out of toilet paper. There's no fucking milk. Everybody's bringing their cows inside.
Yeah, I don't know why our grandparents couldn't have gone to somewhere like, I don't know, Florida, Carolinas, somewhere warmer, no snow.
Charleston. Yeah, Charleston. Right. Yeah.
I mean, for 6 months out of the year, I'm locked in the house with my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's work and your kids and your wife.
And nobody started moving down here until like it seems like the 80s or 90s. Actually, Charleston, not until recently, like within the last decade, we're the fastest growing metropolitan area in the country, I think. And it's fucking Google's fault. They said Charleston's the nicest place in the world to live, and then all of a sudden, everybody from the north is coming south.
Well, and when enough New Yorkers move there, that'll definitely change.
Oh yeah,
that may. Oh yeah, that. I mean, well, without getting into too much, I mean, you could see an influx of people coming from New York City.
Oh, definitely. There's more New Yorkers here now than anything else, and the locals hate it.
I bet.
They're all moving. They're leaving.
It is something. I mean, I'm 53 years old, and I've complained about the winter for, I don't know, 54 years, it seems like. I hate the winter. I'm moving away from this. But I tell you what, man, Michigan, the other 3 seasons, it's amazing here. I mean, you leave my driveway. And Joe comes out here every summer and spends time with his family. But you pull out of my street, I'm like 15 minutes, you're at Lake Michigan. I mean, 20, 25, you're at the state parks and the beaches. And I mean, everything up north, you got Mackinac Island and Frankenmuth and Traverse City. I mean, Michigan is amazing. It would be even better if it didn't frickin' snow.
You guys go out in the boats and stuff on the lakes?
Have you?
I try to. I throw up a lot. So as long as the water's calm, I'm good. But yeah, we have great fishing up here actually. Somebody told me that this area is like one of the top fishing actually, Jamie, I think it was your dad said that this area is one of the top fishing destinations around. So
yeah, probably for the walleye.
Yeah. But same
Do
here.
those lakes get choppy?
Oh yeah.
Choppy. Like we had a windstorm during the winter before the lake froze, and they had recorded between 18 and 36 foot waves on Lake Michigan.
Holy shit.
It can be way worse than an ocean by far.
Really?
I mean, yeah, if you look it up, yeah. Yep.
Huh.
It gets really bad.
The amount of shipwrecks in the Great Lakes, if you ever Google that, it'll blow your mind.
Really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a good friend. He lives in Coral Gable, Florida now, but he was a scuba instructor, and he's dove I don't know how many wrecks in Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, things like that. He'll send me pictures or GoPro videos of him on the deck of there was an old wooden schooner, and it's right almost where Mackinac Bridge crosses from the lower peninsula to the upper peninsula, but I think going northbound, it's just off to the left. I think it's in like 70 or 80 foot of water, but he's showing me videos where the helm is still on the deck of this wooden schooner from like the 1800s with the big steering wheel and everything. It's insane. But the amount of shipwrecks on Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Superior. I mean, look at the Edmund Fitzgerald. That was one of the biggest losses. I mean, now I don't remember how long that was, 900 foot freighter.
Wow.
Iron ore. So, yeah.
Well, you're talking 36 foot waves. That's like a fucking tsunami. I mean,
yeah. I mean, a lot of the waves, like Grand Haven is only, I don't know, 20, 25 minutes from here, kind of northwest. But on the pier at the lighthouse, it looked like the waves were like 20 foot higher when they were crashing. It was insane. And the whole thing was covered in ice, it's a cool look. I'll see if I can find a picture and send it to you. But yeah, the Great Lakes are no joke. That's why they say, I mean, they're way worse than oceans can be, because you've got waves going this way and you've got waves going this way, and they're all crashing together. And yep.
You got party boats too, like in the summer date, all the like those boats are fucking probably in disco balls and
Oh yeah.
fireworks and shit, right?
Yeah, you should see Buffalo. We have in the inner harbor. Jamie's been down there with us before, and you can rent all these different, the paddle boats and stuff like that, and and it's cool because they allow you to bring your own liquor. Um, but there's so much stuff to do here in the summer months. It's ridiculous. We have an influx. I mean, we have Niagara Falls, obviously.
Mm.
I don't recommend. I mean, if you're gonna do the American side, you stick to the park. Don't go anywhere outside the park. It's kind of like Mexico. Don't leave the resort. Um, but then you walk like, 10 minutes over the bridge into Canada, and it's like a whole different world, and it's absolutely beautiful and
It's
so
amazing.
much to do.
That's like the Adirondacks, right? Adirondacks are up there.
No, Adirondacks is about 6-7 hours from where I live.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, no, we're right where you enter into Ontario, Canada. So from my driveway to the Canadian border is about a 15-minute drive.
You kind of sound Canadian, Joey, a
That's
little
not
bit.
cool. That's not cool. Yeah, yeah, but
Wow.
we won the gold this year, so they didn't.
That's right. That's right.
I was gonna say we're early on in the very first episode, and he comes out with that.
Yeah, that
Well, no,
hurts.
I'm trying to place the accent. I mean, it's definitely northern, right?
That's Buffalo.
Yeah, yeah, it's Buffalo.
Yeah, okay.
At least I don't
Okay.
have
Well,
that New York
I'm.
accent like our cousins.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So, hey,
that's
you're a fireman, right? You're obviously the intro says you're a fireman. Tell us about some of the shit you've seen.
Oh, so I've been a volunteer firefighter for almost 27 years in North Tonawanda, and I did commercial EMS for 16 years for one of the largest ambulance companies in Buffalo. So, I mean, I don't know, are we talking funny calls? Are you talking serious calls?
I mean, I know you've seen some shit, right? Like,
Yeah, quite a bit.
so,
So if anybody ever, I don't know how many people heard of Flight 3407, the big plane crash that happened in Buffalo back in 2009.
mm,
So I was dispatched to that. My job at the ambulance company was I was a logistic and purchasing manager, but I also had our multi-casualty truck. So any big MCIs that we had, I would be dispatched to the call because of all the equipment that I carried. So
wow.
um, yeah, so that was about a month after my son was born, and I get a call late at night. I don't remember what time. He never slept well, so anytime he fell asleep, we went to sleep. But I still remember getting a call from my boss saying, "Hey, we need you to report in, grab the supply truck, and head out. We have a plane crash." I was like, "Okay, where are we going?" And he told me it was in Clarence Center, which is about 20 minutes from my house. And I just remember rolling up on the scene, and the amount of fire you could see from the street was insane. So they sent myself along with one of our field supervisors in the back to make sure, take care of any firemen that might have had any, health issues and whatnot. And I just remember seeing stuff that you'll never unsee.
Mm,
But yeah, it's a crazy field. After 16 years after COVID, I decided to call it quits. I wanted to do more with my family. Um, I miss it. I don't miss a schedule, but I miss the people. I miss doing the work. It was definitely one of those jobs where you got satisfaction, but a lot of stuff that sticks with you forever.
yeah, how do they prepare you for stuff like that, man?
They don't. They really don't. I mean, anybody who's a first responder, anybody that's been in the military, you just kind of you live in the moment. You do what you have to do. For other people watching it while we're doing the work, people sit there and see what's going on, and they're processing it more like a TV show or a movie where a first responder's doing it, and you're not really thinking about what you're seeing. You're thinking about trying to keep that person alive, or
Mhm.
get people out of a house fire. And then later on, when it's all over with, then you start processing like, wow, what did I just see? And we always had good debriefing. We always would lean on each other and talk about it, but you know you honestly just bury it.
Wow.
I mean, you have to realize that you did what you could to try to save that person's life, right? And a lot of times you'll
Mm.
have a lot of like, what could have I done differently? Could I have gotten there sooner? But the good news is the good calls normally outweigh the bad calls. So, there's a lot of people here today because of what we do, what we've done. And sadly, sometimes you lose people and, you know,
Mm.
you just have to kind of, like I said, you just kind of have to bury it and you lean on each other and you talk about it. And it's nice because there's more mental health uh, opportunities out there for first responders now that we didn't have, years ago.
Yeah.
Sadly, we're still dealing with first responders who take their own lives every
Mm.
day. Sadly, we just lost a first responder recently to suicide. Not in our city, but in our area. But yeah, it's
Why
tough.
is that? Just because of the like, trying to process that, like, and the emotions and burying everything, like you said, and it just eats away at them.
Well, it's hard to describe. Sometimes you have survivor's guilt.
Mm.
There is some people who may have called in for a shift, or had that day scheduled off, and the person that came in to fill that shift ended up losing their life.
Ah.
So they're like, "Wow, that should have been me, not them."
Mm.
But overall, what I love about being a first responder is all the fun stuff that we have. I mean, we are a close knit family. You can go anywhere, and if someone finds out you're a firefighter, you're instantly accepted. We have a ton of fun, a ton of ball busting. I mean, you know, uh, I was on call quite a bit being a manager. And so we had what we call peak trucks. They would run from 10 a.m. to midnight, and then they'd go out of service until 10 a.m. the next day. Well, the crew that left decided they're going to rig the ambulance for the next crew, not knowing it was going to be us as the management team coming in. And they lined all the air vents with baby powder, and they had everything turned on. So we get dispatched to a call. I jump in the truck, I turn it on, and the next thing you know, it's like a snow globe in there. And I get on the radio saying, "Dispatch 221's out of service." And we walked in, and we were covered, and all they did was started laughing, and
Oh my
you know,
goodness.
oh yeah. I mean, they one quick story. Now this is funny only because he didn't die. But they decided to prank one of the field supervisors one night. I guess he was being a real prick, over overnight shift. So they took nitro paste, and nitro paste will actually help drop your blood pressure, right? So they coated his door with it, his door handle, and he was probably at that time a little over 300 pounds. And I remember seeing him leave, and I said, "Hey, buddy, see you later. Have a good night, good day, blah blah blah." And he collapsed to the ground. I was like, "What the hell is that all about?" And I walked over there, and everybody comes out and starts laughing at him. And I was like, "What'd you guys do?" They're like, "Oh, we nitro pasted his door handle." I was like, "You what?" I said, "How about we check to see if he's still alive because he was out." And they're like, "Oh, we didn't think about that." And
Jesus
so
Christ.
they thankfully came to, and he thought it was funny, and
That's all
um
that matters.
the bosses didn't think it was too funny, and I got yelled at because I witnessed it and I didn't do anything. So um yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
He-
listen to this. I got something for you. So I
uh,
used to work with all my family members. There's 28 family members working for my father at Paint World, an automotive paint distribution company. And so I was the oldest of all the boys, all the boy cousins. Well, we would take turns falling asleep in the bathroom, just fucking off and taking a nap, right? So my cousin's in there. He's been in there for like an hour, right? My other cousin grabs a bag of flour and puts a pile underneath the door. And then I took a leaf blower and just fucking, you know, my cousin comes out, look like the fucking abominable snowman.
yeah, we
We used
did
to fuck with each other so bad.
we did
Oh,
I mean that I loved, like, for me, switching gears, I worked in a pizzeria with all my buddies back in the late 90s.
oh God.
Yeah, so Friday and Saturday nights it was just us, and the amount of stuff that we would pull. um
Shenanigans.
Oh my God, I'm not kidding you. One year I was in charge of putting up the Christmas decoration, so I'm hanging ornaments from the ceiling, and all of a sudden the whole room got quiet, and I turn around, and all of them are lined up looking at me, and I was like, "What?" And again, I have all these glass ornaments above my head. They all started launching ice cubes and smashing all the ornaments above my head. Or we took the new kid and we locked him in the cooler, one night because he spilled all the sauce on the floor. I'm like, I'm not letting you out until you clean this up. Well, we got busy, and I forgot about him.
Oh
And
shit.
he never knocked on the door, and somebody's like, "Yo, where's so and so?" I was like, "Hold on," and ran in the back and opened the cooler, and he's sitting there like this. He goes, "Can I come out now?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely, come out. Get out." And to his credit, he didn't snitch on us, which was awesome. So we accepted
Ooh.
him right away. I think it only lasted another couple more weeks. So I think the straw that broke it was I took the pan off the pizza where you deck the pizza, and I was like, "Hey, can you go put this in the sink?" And he was actually dumb enough to grab it. So,
We used to fill up each other's
Ah,
cars with fucking packing peanuts or wrap the cars in cellophane, like
my
packing tape and
Saran
shit.
wrap. Yeah.
Yeah.
my wife did that to me when we first started dating. She thought it was funny when I was at work. Her and her friend came out and shrink wrapped my truck, and I lost it. It was the first vehicle, like newer vehicle I ever bought,
Like, what
and
the fuck?
yeah, dude. And the shittiest part was I worked for it was for Sears Hardware. She went inside. I believe she got the shrink wrap from one of my friends in there. Uh,
Holy
I
shit.
mean, I had guys, at the pizzeria when I'd go and visit them. They took my car apart. I went on a delivery with my buddy Dave, and I came back, and my front tire was sitting on the little bar that we had in the front window. My tailgate was gone, and I lost it. I was screaming, ready to kill somebody. The cops showed up, and yeah, I always seem to be the ones that everybody likes to target and have fun with.
And it's like when there's downtime, right? That's when shit really goes down. When everybody's bored, there's no customers in the store. I mean, we would make shit. You're a fireman. My cousin, right? We have a spray can machine where you got to pump the paint into these
Oh,
cans, right? And you would spray it like to clear the nozzles into the garbage can. Well, this asshole, there's nobody in the store, it's just us, and he's made a spray can, fucking sprayed the electrical outlet with the can, and a fucking electric fire starts. The fire just goes poof right up the wall, and I was like
ugh.
shocked. I'm just sitting there like, I don't know what to do. And then the manager, who wasn't related, comes over casually, like nothing's nonchalant with the fire extinguisher, just fucking hoses the whole thing down. Oh my god! And a paint store, if that went up, and those cans caught on fire, I mean, a whole city block would be gone. I imagine.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like when I think I told you, but my Joey knows, but I owned a crime scene and trauma cleanup company for almost 10 years, where we cleaned up suicides, homicides, undiscovered deaths, things like that. But hoarding was our biggest request. And there was a couple times, I mean, I had these younger employees, they're great, hardworking laborers. When it comes to, getting a roll of paper towel and our chems and cleaning things, it's like you have to be so damn specific with them. Like, a lot of the houses you'll see will have dirty handprints on the wall because there's so much stuff on the floor. They use the wall as a guide so they don't fall down. Well, you see these dirty handprints, and I'll be like, okay, hey, take the chem. I said, go clean all light switches off because they're all dirty. And I actually goofed up, and I needed to tell them that, okay, you take paper towel in one hand, you spray it, and then you wipe the outlet covers off. Don't spray. And I didn't think I had to do that. I'm working in the basement. I have two employees, two of them, at one single light switch, and they're spraying the hell out of the light switch, and all of a sudden the basement goes black. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Oh yeah, they're going to start an electrical fire in the wall because they're doing this. I'm like, I come upstairs like, well, we're cleaning. I'm like, it takes two of you to clean a light switch plate? I was never more pissed off, but it's just like the fact that I had to tell these guys, don't spray it directly in an outlet. Don't spray it directly in a light socket. Put it on the paper towel, spray it, wipe it down. Easy. It's just, I don't
No, if it wasn't
understand
Common sense.
sometimes.
if it wasn't for people like you guys, we wouldn't have a job. So I don't know. I guess I kind of appreciate that.
That's right. Job security,
Yeah.
right, Joe?
Yeah.
Oh man, most of the stuff that most of the stuff we used to see on calls were just so dumb. You just look at somebody and be like, you really thought that was going to work or that was a good idea? And
Hey,
you
you got to
know,
respect fire. Shit. I've started quite a few fires. I'm not proud of. Me and my brother. All right, we're getting babysat by my uncle. I think we're like 10 or 11, and we're outside. And you remember those cap guns, right? With the rolls of caps you would put in the gun and it would pop or whatever.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
we went to the flea market, and for like $5, we got, I don't know, hundreds of boxes of these caps. Well, instead of putting in the gun, we took a brick, right, and we put the whole roll of caps, and then we'd fucking hit it with a hammer.
Yep.
So we hit this thing and it go boom, and the shit like shot over into a brush, some leaves, and we went back inside like nothing. Didn't fucking. We come back outside, and the whole backyard is on fire. The whole fence line. There's a community center right next door. Fire trucks got called. And my uncle didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He's sitting on the floor playing fucking Zelda, and the backyard's on fire.
Calling it out there. It's a flex. Playing Zelda.
We never, I don't ever remember starting a fire, but I remember my Uncle Vinny, he used to get these M70s from Virginia. And it was back in probably the early 90s. I think I was like 12 or 13. And again, we're at my grandparents' house for Sunday dinner. And my uncle's like, hey, you want to blow some of these off? And he was still living with my grandparents. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Yes.
So he's like, so we're blowing them off. And he decides he's going to take a soup can. He's going to put the M70 down, put the soup can on top of it, and we're watching it blow straight up in the air. Well, the problem is after you do that a few times, it weakens the can. So this
Yeah.
last one that he lights, he blows the can apart, and a piece of shrapnel goes into his arm, and he's bleeding.
Shit.
And my grandfather runs outside. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Uncle Vinny just blew up a can." I said, and he's bleeding. And he looks at my uncle, and he looks down at the ground. He goes, "What the hell did you do to my grass?" And my uncle's like, "I'm bleeding." He goes, "I don't care about that." He goes, "That's your fault that you're bleeding." He goes, "You blew up my grass."
You blew up my grass.
Yeah, and so my uncle's like, "What do I do?" He goes, "That's your problem to figure out." He goes, "You did it." And he closed the back door and walked away from us.
It's always
Oh,
Uncle
Vinny.
Vinny's fault. It's always Uncle
It
Vinny.
is. Listen, Uncle Vinny used to get me in trouble all the time. So my Uncle Vinny was he's my mom's brother, right? So he's 16 years older than me. He was 16 when I was born. So I would spend every weekend at my grandparents' house in the spare room, and he was in the other bedroom. He would go out and hang out with his friends or party with his friends, and he would come home in the middle of the night, open my bedroom door, and be like, Joey. I'd be like, yeah. Are you awake? Yeah. Well, you shouldn't be awake. You should go back to sleep. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and close the door. So he would play hide and go seek, but not come and find me. One particular story that I'm not so proud of, but it comes up all the time, was my grandparents went grocery shopping on a Friday night. My uncle's over with a girlfriend of his, and I don't remember how old I was, but I couldn't clean myself after going to the bathroom. Right. So when I was done, I called my Uncle Vinny and said, "Hey, I'm done." He's like, "What do you want me to do?" I was like, I don't know. Grandma cleans me. So he left me on the toilet for almost 2 hours till my grandparents got home. And yeah, so again, I vaguely remember this because I was real little, but that's a story that goes around, and my grandmother would bring it up all the time. My uncle still points it out, how he left me there for a couple hours. And he never babysat me again after that.
And
my
when Joe
uncle
says he
says the
was
same shit. Uncle Brian, he tells me that all the time. I had to wipe your ass. He would
Yeah, this
he'd
one
walk by
didn't.
the bathroom. I'm sitting there, my ass in the air. Wipe me.
Good, so I'm not the only one.
No.
oh my
It's probably pretty
gosh.
common.
Oh, dude, you know what though?
I'm
I didn't
sure.
have a big brother growing up, so my uncle was my big brother. And he would just not torment us, but just like have a lot of fun at our expense. My grandmother was huge at Christmas time, making Christmas cookies and candy. I'm sure Jamie remembers her chocolate,
Oh
and
my
she would
gosh.
store it in our in her hall closet. And I remember it must have been the weekend before Christmas, so maybe a couple days. And she goes to take all the containers down so she can start separating everything. And one of them's completely empty. And she starts losing it and starts screaming at me. And I looked at her, I said, "Grandma, I can't reach the top of the closet." I said, "There's only one person in this house that can reach that."
And
And
Vinny
my
is
uncle's like,
tall.
"Oh yeah," he's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's like, "You snitch," and then, he chased after me, and it's like, it's not my fault. I'm not taking a beating for what you did. My grandfather used to keep a big belt right in the bathroom, right on the corner shelves. Remember those little corner shelves that would go in there? And he had this big leather belt that just sat there. And if you ever heard that belt buckle jingle, dude, You never saw a fat
Run.
kid run so fast. Nope, gone, gone. The only time I ever ran was that belt sound or the ice cream truck coming through the neighborhood. That was it.
Oh
And then I
God.
still question it. I'm like, what are you running for? I mean, is there something chasing you? What
Mm.
exactly is going on?
Mm.
Like, I see people jogging down the road, and I'm like, are they in danger? What are they running for?
Yeah, you know how
And
many
word
times
on
I
the
went to
street, Joey. Word on the street says the ice cream truck used to hang out, wait for you to come outside, or
Yeah.
something.
All right, so funny story. So listen, when you're a kid in the 80s and the 90s growing up, we didn't have phones, we didn't have apps to track food trucks. We had
Thank
a Mr.
God.
Soft, we had a Mr. Softy in our neighborhood. And Mr. Softy sold real ice cream, not like that crap that came around in the early 2000s where they went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of popsicles and upped the charge by $10. So you would hear the music, and I'd be able to hone in just by basically, oh, you know what? I think he's only about 3 streets over. I knew how much time to get to my grandma's house to get money and get back. Well, then he got smart. He started coming down my grandmother's street because there's a lot of us living there. And I would come out every day, or I'd tell him, hey, stop. I got to run to the house and get some money. Well, then it became the part where if I wasn't outside, he'd stop in front of the house and keep the music loud. And one time my grandma actually had to come out and say, he's not here today. So, yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah. And there was another time I was at my cousin's communion out in the city of Buffalo, and they had a Mr. Softy out there. And I asked my grandma for some money. She gave me $20. Well, I thought I was allowed to spend all $20. And I came back with melting ice cream and all sorts of stuff. And, I gave a couple of my cousin's stuff, but I spent $20 and, you know, my mom flipped out on me. My grandma flipped out on me. My mom actually grounded me for a few days for that. And, and
$20
You're like,
of
but
ice cream.
was it worth it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
oh, dude, I had an ice cream cone that was it was a double header. It was like two ice cream heads at one handle. And I'm walking back with all this shit melting down my chest. And, I just remember asking the guy, I was like, how much more I got left? Oh, you got $10 left. All right, give me one of those. What am I up to now? So,
Just run the
can't
tab
imagine.
for me.
Can't imagine I got to wait for them these days, but,
I'm
Holy
the same
shit.
way. I'm the same way. Always have ice cream in this house. Always.
Dude, my grandmother was just, again, you can't have an Italian grandmother and not be heavy at some point in your life. I would come over and just visit because I lived a mile from her. And she's like, oh, you want something? I'll make you a small snack. And all of a sudden I have like a BLT sandwich and a stack of pancakes. And, she's like, oh, you want any more? It's like, no, I'm good. One sandwich is
I'd get
good.
fat just from the driveway of my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So
Yeah, it was something. It was the same way. We in Detroit, we basically, my family took up like 2.5 blocks. Just like in Wilkes-Barre, it's like grandma and grandpa were in one house. I had an aunt in the house next door to them. I had an aunt and uncle in the house next to them, across the street down. And that's where we lived. We lived across the street, and I was with my grandparents always. My mom and dad, late 70s, early 80s. Well, late 70s because we moved out of there, but they both worked 2 jobs to make it at that point in time. And I was always at my grandma's house. And boy, did I put weight on, every day. It was, oh, you want some pasta for lunch, and you need some, soft boiled eggs and toast for breakfast. And you had to have a meal between lunch and dinner. And it was always something. It was up. But yeah, if you left her hungry, it's your own damn fault. You're definitely, it was just.
Dude, I would walk my bike home. I couldn't even ride my bike when I was done visiting them. It was that bad. And when I finally got into high school, like later, probably like my junior year, I lost a ton of weight. Like I dropped like 100 pounds in a year. And, then it was one of those things where it's like I joined the fire hall, and all of a sudden then you get into EMS and now you're eating like crap again. Always ordering out.
Fast food and shit.
Yeah, like we'd be on the ambulance. What would piss me off the most is you'd walk in there, like we have Tim Hortons, and we live on that stuff with the coffee. And we'd walk in and we would order some food, and then next thing you know, you're getting a call. And if the food wasn't ready, you had to leave. You paid for it already, but you had to leave. Or you're having a sit down meal with another crew, and all of a sudden you guys both get dispatched. You got to leave. But terrible eating habits, So
I bet.
oh, and then you live in Buffalo, where like we are like the food capital. You don't Pizza Hut's like we have a Pizza Hut that just opened this year in our city, and I heard it's already getting ready to close because we have all
Why?
these mom and pop. We have all these mom and pop shops. you know.
Yeah,
So
man.
we have great food in this area. It's hard not to indulge in it.
Indulge. Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out. So my wife and my, Mandy and I and the kids, we go and stay with Joe and Katie, in the summertime sometimes. And huge shout out to Chris Candino, man. TC Wheeler's Pizza. Is he in Tonawanda, Joe? He's not an NT.
Yeah,
He's
he's in City of Tonawanda. He's right next door to us. But man, I should sue him because he's one of the main reasons why I just can't lose weight. His place is so good.
chef. His food. You go in there, and we always get food and just bring it back to Joe's house. But you get a large dill pickle pizza on everything bagel crust.
Ooh.
Dude.
I've never heard of such a thing.
Neither had I until Joe's like, we got to go to my buddy Chris's place, dude. His stuffed hot peppers, his stuffed hot pepper pizza, the chicken finger pizza, pepperoni pizza. I mean, he's got the cut pepperoni. He's got the right root. Oh my dude, it's insane.
Let's make sure we tagged these guys. Anybody that we end up talking about on the show, we should tag them. You know what I mean?
Chris deserves it, dude. I mean, he really.
I will challenge TC Wheeler's food against anybody else in this country. I kid you not. I have food everywhere, and they are by far the best stuffed hot banana peppers you've ever had in your life.
Ooh.
These guys can make anything.
Stuffed peppers? Oh my god.
Oh, dude, you have to go to their Facebook page and look at the different concoctions that he comes up with. We should honestly have him on the show one day and talk about his food, man.
Dude, and you follow him on Instagram. I've followed him ever since I knew Instagram and Facebook. Dude, he's not one of those owners that's like, I'm here from this time to this time. It's like, oh, he posted live at 3 a.m. Hey, I'm doing this with this pizza. Let me know what you think. The dude is a food genius. He's always creating this. I mean, from what I see, it's like he's always creating something. He's always having fun.
Wow.
Shout out to Chris, man.
Cool.
His pizzas. I would love, really, no bullshit. I would love to get his recipes and open a pizza place around, in West Michigan like that. It would kill.
Franchise it.
I don't do franchises anymore.
Oh, that's right. You were in franchise, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah, but
what's the problem with franchise? Just curious.
The franchise I owned was good. It was great, actually. I became really good friends with the founder and CEO. We're actually still good friends. I haven't owned the franchise in, 3 years probably. But he got to a point. I mean, like he's a brilliant CEO, founder, creator, serial entrepreneur guy. He's friends with Tony Robbins. And anytime Tony Robbins comes around his area, he's on stage with, motivational speaker. I mean, just brilliant. And I actually have gone to him numerous times for, in ideas and stuff like that. But when he owned it, it was good. It was great. And then he sold it. He created another franchise and they were kind of running parallel. And he sold the one franchise that I owned to another company. It was a national company. I think they had 5 or 6 other franchises under their umbrella, and they took, this franchise on. I'm not going to say their name just because I don't want to give them any recognition, but, they big round table stuff. Oh, it's not, it's going to get better. And we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this. And
empty
oh
promises.
my gosh. Oh yeah. And, I had a contract dispute with them because I was actually one of the original franchisees. I think I was like 9, 10, maybe 11. And I think there's 150 nationwide now. Well, when the new owner bought it from the other founder, CEO, they were sending me invoices and I'm like, wait, you guys are upcharging me on my invoices for all these fees, which are not on my agreement. All the, I think from franchise 18 and on had a new agreement. You have your Google Ads management fees and your website fees, and you've got this. And I think it was like $3 or $4 grand extra a month, somewhere in there. I mean, that's what you're already under. You start the month out, you're already out fees. Well, they're trying to charge me that. And I would just go in and pay my royalties. And the one month I owed them like 25 grand in royalties. And I actually looked at it and I went, wait a second. They're adding all these fees onto my invoice. And I contacted the people and they're like, nope, those are your fees. I said, no, they're not. And we got in this a pretty heated argument. And they said, "Well, you're liable for these fees." And I said, "I'm under the original contract. Those fees don't apply to me." They're like, "Well, new ownership, yes, the fees apply." And I said, "I bet you a judge here in the state of Michigan would beg to differ." And they got defensive and they said, "If you don't pay this, we're going to default you." I said, "Okay,
Default me. Fuck it.
default me."
Yeah.
And I said, "You default me." I said, my NDA goes away. My no compete goes away. "Oh, no, those will stand." I said, "Try it in the state of Michigan. Michigan is a right to work state. I'm here to tell you, none of this crap works." The next day, I had already created a new LLC and a new company. They defaulted me. I went right back to work. The beautiful thing about it, they didn't shut my website down for almost 4 months. I don't know what they were thinking. My phone number is listed on there. So people were calling that number, coming through their website, their leads were coming to my email, and I'm just going to work, I'm doing jobs left to right, hoarding job. I mean, weekly, I was doing 3 and 5 3 and 5 day hoarding jobs, like every week. And it's just like, and all of a sudden it dried up. They killed the website, and it was just kind of what it was. But from what I understand, after I had left, I still talked to quite a few of the owners, but from what I understand, I mean, part of our royalties, and they had a percentage that went to national branding for like going to the National Coroners Association meetings, which is huge for what we did, chiefs of police and things like that. That money was supposed to go to that, supposedly, and I can't attest, but there was supposedly a lawsuit. I guess that money all disappeared.
Wow. Holy shit.
That's just what I hear. I don't know. I also heard there was a lawsuit. There was a bunch of franchisees suing the new company for the way they handled. So I don't know. But
Hey, listen,
franchises,
not to segue. Is that a Goodfellas? Is it Goodfellas or Godfather behind you? That poster.
Godfather.
That's Godfather. Yeah, it's kind of. So for the people that are just tuning in, right? There's some history here with the Italian movies, and they don't make movies the way they did back in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. And I
No.
want to talk to Joey a little bit about his experience. I know you've had some time, on set and doing some cool shit.
Yeah, so I started a promotions company. I don't remember when that was, maybe 2012, and started working with Ian Petrilla from the movie Christmas Story. Everybody knows him as the little brother Randy, can't put his arms
Oh yeah.
down. So I did a cool little show with him at our local theater, the Riviera Theater in North Tonawanda. And a year later, it was the 30th anniversary of the movie, and Ian decided he was going to bring most of the remaining cast members to my city, and we did a big 30th anniversary show. So after working with Ian for a couple of years, he introduced me to Chris Cerrone, who played the young Henry Hill in
Oh yeah.
Goodfellas. So I did a show with Chris in North Tonawanda at the theater as well. We did a screening of Goodfellas and a Q&A, and fans were able to come up and meet him and get autographs and all that kind of stuff. And we just kind of launched a friendship. So I talk to him quite often. We talk all the time. Him and Jamie have been partnering up, doing some business stuff together. Chris is phenomenal. And,
That's
now
so
that
cool, man.
and now that Ray Liotta passed away,
Yeah.
he and the obviously the real Henry Hill, who the movie was based on, passed away. He's kind of like the last tie to Henry Hill. So he's doing a lot of Comic Cons. He's doing a lot of traveling around. Definitely somebody I think we should definitely bring on the show one day and talk about that movie, because his insights and the stuff that he did on that scene or in that film was incredible. The one thing, and he'll talk about it, but do you remember the scene where he blew up all the cars? And his body,
Oh.
he blew forward as he's running away from the scene.
Oh yes.
They
Yes.
they actually blew those cars up, and that was his real reaction. That blast actually pushed him. It
Holy
wasn't
shit!
acting.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible, man.
he's-
I mean that like defined my youth. Like I felt like that I lived that kind of shit.
Yeah. And when he was here, when we did that show, or he came back, I'm sorry, he came back and did an event at TC Wheelers. Funny how that just came full circle. We did a dinner at TC Wheelers, and another screening, and it was incredible. We actually went to an antique store. He's big in the antique shopping like I am, and Jamie is too. And wouldn't you believe, going through an antique store, we actually came across a copy of Goodfellas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So he signed it. We took a picture of it. I actually have it behind me in my collector's case.
Yeah, I
So.
see. I see you got some memorabilia and shit too. Frankenstein or something. Is that from?
Oh yeah, yeah. I got some crazy shit. That's Frankenstein mask from the movie Christmas Story. Um, I'm a big Michael Myers Halloween fan. I
Okay.
got masks up in there and leg lamp stuff, and I
So you
got
keep in
autographed
touch with
leg
all those
lamps
Christmas stories? You keep in touch with all
all the
them?
time.
Really?
Yep.
That's so cool,
Most of
man.
them. Actually, Zach Ward, who played Scott Farkas, the main bully in the movie, a good friend of mine, Sean, I used to work with at the ambulance company. His son got the role of Scott Farkas in the Christmas Story play this year. So I sent Zach a text messages. I said, "Hey man," I said, a buddy of mine's son was just awarded your role in this,
Huh.
and he actually made a custom video, sent it to me so I could send it to my son or my friend's son, so he could see, a congratulations video.
And then what are they
That's
doing? A
cool.
Broadway? Is it a Broadway play or something?
No, it was a local in town theater
Okay.
group. I can't remember if it was through a school or if it was just through the town itself, but they've done it a handful of years, and it was really cool that he got that role, and Zach was cool enough to make that video congratulating him.
Hey, so
That is
check this
awesome.
out. I was talking to Chris, as a matter of fact, 2 days ago, because there's a film adaptation coming based on my book, and I told him about it, about getting him a role. So now we're in early discussions. I'm praying that you know something comes out of that. And I've got a screenwriter who's written like the first 10 pages of the screenplay. I got to send it to you guys. You got to read this shit, and it's so weird, like because it's my life story, and I'm reading it from somebody else's perspective, how they're perceiving it, and I don't know, like, out of all the characters in the story, like, who I would have Chris play, but I would want it to be like a badass, Uh, him being Henry Hill, and I mean, that was so cool. That movie was so cool, especially the young Henry Hill too. Being a kid and
Shameless,
Yeah.
shameless plug.
there you go. I
At least you
appreciate that.
got one. I'm sitting here without one, so still haven't tried
Hey,
the
I
spaghetti
just I just
sauce. Got
sponsored a
no.
National Italian American event. I left like 5
Nice.
copies. They went like that too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool, but I couldn't hang out. My wife got hurt at work. She had to get shots on her
Oh,
back. Yeah,
Mm.
Ooh.
yeah.
Well, listen, if you
Yeah.
ever launch a movie, me and Jamie, we have a lot of experience. We come with a resume.
Oh, you guys are getting the hook. Yeah, you're in. Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah.
need
No,
you.
another guest we can bring on, Joe, from our experience that we did over just east of you here.
Yeah, Nick Groff. If anybody knows Nick Groff, he's one of the original founding members of the TV show Ghost Adventurers.
Oh
Him
shit.
and his wife, yeah, him and his wife Tessa, actually live in the Buffalo, New York area. And
Hell yeah.
he's been doing a show for what, the last 5 years, I believe. Death
Mm-hmm.
Walker.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie and I were fortunate enough. Our families were in season 3, episode 6, The Gallows. I got to play the main character. Jamie was the crazy guy in
Psycho.
prison. My son was the one of the inmates that was murdered. Jamie's wife was my girlfriend that I killed. Yeah, it was really cool. But I'll tell you, two people that are very very well known in the paranormal world. And actually, they just finished filming a movie here in Buffalo. That's going to premiere Memorial Day weekend at the Riviera Theater. My daughter and some of the neighborhood kids were in it, just as extras
Oh
in a
wow.
school scene. So,
How exciting,
uh,
You
man.
you want to talk about a down to earth, cool as hell couple? I mean, you get around some celebrities, they're kind of like, you almost have that feeling like they know that they're better than you. You
Hmm.
you get around Nick and Tessa, and it's just like, you know, you and I, or you and just, it's just like no big deal, just people. They're just so down to earth, welcoming,
I
warming.
love that.
I mean, when we did the event at the Riviera, and then we had the VIP meet and greet, I mean, Nick was just basically walking around hugging people, thanks, and having drinks and dinner, and it was a lot of fun. But they are so cool. They'd be another one, Joe, if you can get them on here. That'd
Do you
be
ever
so
think
much
in a
fun.
million years? You ever think in a million years, like, past lives, like in high school and shit like that, growing up, you'd ever be doing the kind of shit that you're doing with movies and stuff like that?
No, I mean, I wish I could do it full time. I mean, the promotions world, I got spoiled with guys from the Christmas Story and Chris. But in reality, some celebrities, it is all about the money.
Yeah.
And with the Christmas Story, these guys didn't do anything for a long time.
Hmm.
Not a whole lot was going on. Maybe once in a while they would go to a convention or two. The Christmas Story House, when that launched in 2006, it brought them back. But with Ian, it was his idea. He put a Facebook post up in the summer of 2012 about trying to get the movie back on the big screen. And he's
Hmm.
like, listen, if it's nearby where I live, I'll even make the trek out there and talk with you and do meet and greets. And that's when I messaged him. And a couple weeks later, his agent called me and we set something up. And it was a labor of love. It's a lot of stress and whatnot. But
Yeah.
when you do this stuff for full time, unless you have some amazing sponsors that will consistently, help you out. I mean, even at the rate that they gave me, which is next to nothing in today's world, that 30th anniversary show, I was on the hook for close to $30,000.
Holy shit.
And by the time it was all said and done with, I don't even think I made $200 profit, but I did it because I love the movie.
Because you
I
love
mean,
it.
I'm one of the biggest fans of that movie. And a couple of years ago for the 40th anniversary, Ian invited my wife and I to Pittsburgh for Steel City Con because Peter Billingsley, who played Ralphie, was going to be there, and the rest of the cast. So I already knew Scott Schwartz, who played Flick, and R.D. Robb, who played Schwartz, and Zach Ward, Scott Farkas. Yano Anaya is another good friend of mine. He played the crummy little toady, Grover Dill, in the film. But
Hey,
I was
Zach
able to
Ward.
actually,
Zach
yep,
Ward, didn't he do a movie with like kind of recently, 2019, with DMX and Steven Seagal? Did you guys see that?
DMX and Steven Seagal. No. I know he's
Yeah.
done a lot. He does a lot of movies. He's producing a lot of his own movies. But that one I haven't seen. And actually,
He was
because
one
of
of the
Zach,
bullies, right? Zach Ward
yeah,
in
he was the
Christmas Story, he
main
was one of
bully.
the bullies.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. But again, these guys are all just phenomenal people to work with. But doing this stuff full time is just tough. But with them bringing us out to Pittsburgh that year, I was able to meet Peter Billingsley, and he invited my wife and I to dinner at a steakhouse. And I was talking with the bar. He's like, "Yeah, I just want to pick your brain." And Ian told me about the shows that you've done to promote the movies and stuff. And here's a guy who is in business and business partners with Vince Vaughn, making
Oh,
some of the
wow.
funniest movies, doing some of the coolest I mean, the guy was a producer on the
One of my
Iron Man movies.
favorites. One of my
Yeah.
You know, he
favorites.
he produced all three of the Iron Man movies, and here he's asking my opinion about doing live events.
Wow.
So it was absolutely incredible. It brought us into a private room for dinner with the entire cast. I actually ran into David Arquette, who played in Scream.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it was a little awkward because we were coming out of the bathroom and stuff. We're walking down the hallway together, and he's looking at me like I'm stalking him. And he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "In the Christmas Story room." He's like, "Oh, you're with the Christmas Story guys?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I'm with the Screamcast." And you look in, there's Nev Campbell and all the
Wow.
all the folks from Scream, and it was absolutely incredible.
You know what? Promotion is so important. I think it's slept on too. Like it can make or break a project. Really.
Oh, absolutely. Doing it right. But the biggest thing is making sure that what I found out was some of these events, they're not affordable for the average person anymore. Like if
Yeah.
you go to a Comic Con, you're paying a fee to get in the door, then you're paying an autograph fee, and if it's
Yeah.
a bigger item, it costs more, and if you want a picture, it costs this, and some of these celebrities will charge upwards to, like, by the time you're done, like $300 for a photo and a signature, and you met one person.
Mm.
So when we did the event, we did it where people could meet these guys at the cost of the ticket, say hello, um, and if they wanted autographs, they would pay for autographs, and their autograph fees were very modest. So, um, but yeah, I mean, it was a blast. I met a lot of great people doing it. Because of Zach Ward, I got to have a little part in my own little movie that was made for TV. I mean, it wasn't even good enough to get on DVD, but I can say
Ah,
I
it
was in
was
a movie.
fantastic.
I can say I was in a movie with Chevy Chase. I didn't
Yes,
Holy
meet
you
him,
shit.
can.
Wow.
but I was in a movie with him.
That's
So
so cool.
yeah, but I did get to have a scene, and I had a line with Howard Hessman, who used to play the disc jockey from WKRP in Cincinnati, and
Yeah.
Lieutenant Lassard in Police Academy 2. And I mean, the guy's movies are just, the guy was a legend. So to meet him and have a scene with him is like, it was awesome.
Oh yeah. And Chris Arone, he does these conventions too, right? Like
Yeah.
for Goodfellas and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yep.
Have you ever been to one of them?
Not his. We actually talked about trying to do a mob themed convention here in Buffalo.
Mm,
Because he's got ties still with a lot of the remaining cast members of Goodfellas and The Bronx Tale, and stuff like
nice.
that. But again, it comes down to money, right? You have to fly people out, you have to put them up in hotels, you have to feed them, you have to give guarantees to make it worth their while to come here. So logistically, I can plan any type of an event, not to pat myself on the shoulder, but
Yeah.
I can plan any event. I can handle all of that. I just, it comes down to the money and,
Yeah, it's got to make
people's
financial sense.
involvement. 100%. So,
Yeah.
we used to get sponsorships. Some of the things I would do for sponsorships is I would bring, like, Ian came out here a couple of years ago to do an event, and the sponsor who paid for him to fly out here, we brought him to their business, and we let them meet their
Okay.
employees and take photos and sign stuff for free. So
Yeah.
we always try to find unique ways of trying to generate interest. But
Like, who
um,
provides all the memorabilia and shit, the collectibles?
they bring
Where
their
does all
own
that stuff come
stuffs.
from?
They bring their own most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
But a lot of people want to bring their own stuff. So, like, for Christmas Story, you always see people bringing BB guns in, or one of the biggest things too, and I collect it. My wife teases me and calls me a loser, but is those Funko Pops. People
Oh,
signing
yeah.
Funko Pops. So I probably, no joke, I probably have 100 of them signed by all sorts of different actors. I have a custom one that Chris Cerrone did of the Henry Hill Funko that he sent me. Um,
Wow. That's
yeah,
awesome.
so, and I have a lot of cool memorabilia from these guys that most people don't have. I have an original Christmas Story movie poster that was never put on display, and I have it signed by everybody except for the teacher who played Miss Shields, and I'm hoping to meet up with her soon, to get that signed so I can finish it up. So
So hey, let me ask you this: like you're talking about logistics, would it make sense to pick like a tourist destination? I'm just gonna spitball here, but Charleston's a big tourist town, right? And I'm sure there's a lot of fans for these movies that you're talking about. What if Low Country Lunatics, maybe Pacioli, maybe the Roma Parfum can sponsor an event like this, put something together? How long we talking that something like that could get get up and running?
depends
Like
how
how do you
big you
need
want to make it.
huh?
It depends how big you want to make it, how many people you want coming. The biggest thing is price point. If you make it too expensive, people don't come. You want to make it for the average person. So when we did the
Yeah.
Christmas Story event, the 30th anniversary event, our ticket price was, I want to say it was $15 for adults, $10 for
Oh,
kids, right?
okay,
We
yeah, that's not
sold
bad.
we sold 1,138 seats.
Holy shit.
We went in 2015 and did it with just the kids from the movie, minus Peter Billingsley, because his fees were very expensive. We ended up having to go to $25 a ticket, and I think we only sold like 700 seats.
What kind of venues do you book? Hotels?
So for everything, so I'll book the hotels for their lodging. I've done the airfare for them. So all they have to do is just get on the plane, get off a plane, and then same thing. I pick them up at the airport, bring them back to the airport. And it gives me more of that time to kind of meet them and get to know them a little bit more. So everybody I've worked with, I've pretty much become a friend with. I did a show with Butch Patrick, who played Eddie Munster from the Munsters.
Oh shit, yeah.
Um, what was it? Steve and what was his name from Ghost Hunters? Jay and Steve. I did two
Okay,
shows
yeah.
with them out here. Again, Nick and Tessa. So the biggest thing is not just doing this as a business, but you become friends with these folks.
Right. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, we've had a great episode. I want to thank you guys. I mean, talk about coming out the gate swinging. Like this is fantastic. Man, God bless you too for what you did with the first responders and stuff like that, and the fire department. Like that's some heavy shit. And I feel like the audience is gonna really get something out of this episode. And let's just keep it rolling, guys. Like this is amazing. Thank you so much.
Always
Absolutely.
fun. Glad to be back too. I mean, I was only on a couple times originally, but this is good. This is going to be
Yeah,
good.
it feels good, right?
It does. It really does. So yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. We're gonna wrap up episode whatever the fuck this is. I don't even know. But
Yeah.
I will post this on Friday. And again, keep watching, share, follow. And love you guys and God bless everybody.
God bless
Thanks
the
for having me.
U.S. See you
I'm
guys.
happy to
Have a
be
good
part
one.
of this, guys. Take care.
Later.
You too.
All
See
right.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.